Hello there my lovely jewelry makers, I'm Christina of CSLdesigns, and in today's video we're going to be doing a Temu haul, and this will actually be number 1 of 2 videos, and there's going to be very different things in both, so keep an eye out for the second one that's going to be coming very soon. Also, if any of these things in this video catch your eye and you're interested to have a little look yourself, there's going to be links to everything in the description box down below along with a discount code as well. Now it's a coupon bundle worth £100. And there's also going to be discounted prices for all the products in the video here. And just a note, it is for new app users only. Otherwise, let's just jump right in and have a look at things. There's a few different kinds of things. The usual, like beads, of course, because who doesn't love beads? I know I do, and I feel like you can never have too many. There's some findings, molds, and then we also have jewelry display and storage pieces. So I'm not going to go through anything in a particular order. I'm going to mix it up to keep it interesting. But let's start out with some beads. So these ones here caught my eye straight away, and I was really looking forward to seeing them in real life. Let's just release them from the plastic prison. And these just scream summer to me, which of course we're not really in anymore, but let's just ignore that fact. Get them all out here. So you can see they are very colourful, but in a very different way, and that's what really caught my eye. I really like the look of these. Like I said, they scream summer and they scream sunshine, flowers. They're just so perfectly summerish to me. Now of course you don't have to just use them for summer pieces all during the summer, but it's just what they instantly scream to me. So we have different sizes. The biggest ones here are 10mm. Very pretty, and I love how they are very delicate as well. So even though we have yellow and pink, which usually are quite bright and in your face colors, for some reason it's quite delicate at the same time as being very bright. So that's an interesting combination, and I really like the way it just looks. There's a little bit of white mixed in as well. I think that helps to kind of dampen it all a little bit and make it that bit more delicate. I really like that. So that was 10mm, and then we have 8mm. And then 6mm. I do like to have several of the same beads but in different sizes, so you can really play around with different designs, incorporate the different sizes in the same pieces, or use them for different pieces but maybe make sets. So I really like having that option so you're not as limited. But they are very pretty. I like them. Like I said, summer, which is 6+ months away, but never mind that. We can use them whenever we want, can't we? So I'm really pleased with them. They are very pretty. So the first beads are a win. I like them a lot. They'll be going into my stash. Now the next thing is actually kind of something a bit tool related, you could call it, I guess, or protection, whatever you want to call it. But I have used this before, and I've also had inquiries about it when I've used it. So let's just get it out of the plastic. Now these are finger protectors, and they're like a soft silicone type material. So the situation is, I already have some of these, but for some reason I put them safely somewhere when I wasn't using them, so I knew where they were, and now I don't know where they are. So that's wonderful. So I kind of thought, well, I'll get some more, but also I'll get to try these ones here and obviously see if they're the same, if they're good. But also I needed more anyway because I was running low, but also I couldn't find the ones I was using. But anyway, I don't need to open all of them, but what we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in total. So like I said, finger protectors. These ones are open on both ends. You can also get them where they're actually closed on one end, so it's the tip of your finger, and in that case you can always just cut off that tip if you want to. But these actually feel a little bit nicer than the ones I had. They're even softer than the ones I had before and fit more comfortably. You can also sometimes get them in different sizes for obviously different fingers, because the thumb is usually bigger than the rest. But these ones, they all seem to be the same size, but that actually is fine in this case because it's not too tight on the thumb. If anything, that's probably more comfortable than the ones I had before. Anyway, what I'm getting at is I like to use these for certain things. So if I'm doing a lot of wire weaving, or if I'm doing wire macrame or wire kumihimo, that tends to be when I would use these the most. And actually it's usually on my other hand, because what tends to happen is the wire, when doing those kinds of designs, you'll often find that it's gonna kind of run along your fingers usually in the same spot over and over again, and that creates little hard spots on your skin, but also it can get quite painful. It can for me anyway. And these actually help with that because you put them over the area where the wire would rub on your finger. But like these, like I said, come without the tip on, but if you get the tip ones, you can just cut that off. But I like to at the same time touch and feel what I'm working with. I don't like not being able to feel it. So the fingertip being free, I can still do that, but at the same time I have protection for the rest of my fingers where the wire would normally rub, and it protects and stops that pain and calluses or whatever you'll get from it. So that's why I sometimes like to use these in certain scenarios. And I do also, I'm quite picky with the kind because you can get lots of different kinds, but I like the fact that these are very flexible and soft and not too tight, which these are even better than the ones I had, like I said. So these ones are just the ones I've come to prefer, where it's this kind of clear, soft silicone. So yeah, that's kind of just the answer to, I've gotten many questions when I've used these in the past. And now I just have a few more to last me a while. Of course they won't last forever, they do wear, which is why I like having a few. But they are reusable for quite a while until they kind of wear through, and then you'll just grab a new set. And also, like I said, I don't put them on all my fingers usually. I just put them on one or two where, specifically where the wire would normally rub. But anyway, that long spiel just to explain that these are finger protectors, and it's something I like to use in certain situations. So it's something I can highly recommend looking into if you suffer from maybe the same kind of problem. Anyway, that's the next thing here. Highly recommend them, especially compared to ones I had before. They seemed actually really nice. Now next, let's do some more beads, I think. Let's do something purple because there's never any purple in any of my things at all. So these ones here look very inviting. Let's again just release them. Same principle as you can see, 3 different sizes of the same bead. 10mm, 8mm and 6mm. If I can actually get into them. There we go. I created a hole. And they're very pretty, delicate purple here, and still at the same time not just one solid color, it's different nuances of purple and shades, but it goes so well together. And because of how light, and I keep wanting to say delicate, but my point is I'm trying to say that they look so delicate because of the colors. That's very pretty. The next size is 8mm. Get them out, and we have 6mm. Generally really good sizes to work with. Very pretty. So I say a very delicate purple, like lavenderish color. I really like them. These would go lovely with both silver and copper, rose gold, anything really, and just be very elegant looking. I feel have the delicacy of them, since I can't get away from that word. Just also screams elegance to me. So combined with especially silver wire, that to me is very elegant potential looking. I really like them. They're very nice. And again, different sizes, so many different possibilities. So you're not just limited to having one of the sizes there, but you can really play around and mix and match. And actually, let me just have a little look. I just placed them next to the other ones. It's not an obvious thing, but for some reason I kind of like them together. I think it's because they're so delicate as well. I keep using that word. But light in color, and these ones are also delicate in their own way. Even though the yellow and pink are quite bright, at the same time it manages to be delicate. For some reason I kind of think they could go together. Interesting. That's what I like about doing this kind of thing, where I'm kind of going through beads and things as I go, and then I end up maybe finding out, oh, those two look quite nice together because I randomly have them next to each other, whereas maybe I wouldn't have thought of that otherwise, and I would never have thought to put them together, but they actually work quite well. Anywho, next let's do some storage, shall we? Storage / display really. So I was going a little bit down a rabbit hole with some display storage things as well, because I started to think a bit, looking for things that might be good for markets. So if you like doing markets for selling your jewellery, or even as well just for storing it at home, which first of all, that's storing pieces that you use, so obviously it's there, you can look at it, it looks nice, but also it's handy for when you want to put it on. Just going to get a couple of these out. But of course also if you do markets, it's first of all to have a nice display to attract customers, potential customers. And also so not everything is laying flat on a table, because you want to try and get things like up in levels and raise them up different levels and create interest. And also so it looks nice and it's more inviting for people to look at, and maybe looking a bit more professional as well. So these ones are ring stands. So I kind of thought this seemed like a good idea, instead of just having rings laying flat on a table, for instance, or maybe in a box. It kind of closes them off and it's not so obvious to look at them. Whereas something like this, maybe I should actually just get a ring. Right, just confirming how it works. So you have a little, almost like a little clip there at the top that you kind of can open a little bit. Let's see if this will go, if it's too thick. I think it should be fine. Unless it's too top heavy, we'll see. And kind of just feed the ring band in there. Oh my goodness, that works. What was I even worried about? And you literally have your ring on perfect display. The actual main part of the ring is facing upwards and outwards, so you can easily see it, both if it's at home for yourself or if it's, say, on a market where potential customers can easily see the ring and be attracted, and even maybe pick up the thing without taking it off or anything. And you can literally see the whole ring all the way around, but it's there really securely. I say as it falls off. But it's not really coming off unless you're pretty much forcing it to. So I'm trusting that to stay in the position that you put it in. Even this is quite a heavy ring, and obviously it's a bit of a thick ring band, and it's an actual cabochon and quite a bit of wire on the top here, but that holds, that's a, really I would expect it to hold pretty much anything. I really like these, they're nice. So like I said, for home jewelry storage / display, or for markets for selling, I think these are really nice. I like them a lot. So, and this is a pack of, there's quite a few in here, 12 pieces, and I'm pretty sure you could also get them in round, but I chose this because this kind of satisfied my brain a bit, that you can literally get a few more out, stack them up, and have them aligned if you want to, of course, right next to each other, and they just fit perfectly together in a nice row, and it's all nice and symmetrical. But like I said, they have round ones as well, so whatever suits you, or whatever kind of style suits your branding if you're looking at selling. And I like the fact that they're clear, so whatever ring you put on, the ring is going to be in focus in the center, and they're not going to take away from the design. So I like them a lot. So I can see using this for my own rings that I made that I like to wear, because I usually cycle through kind of the same ones over and over again when I do go out, even though that's not very often. But having them like this might be kind of a nice change. Nice display when I'm not wearing them, and also easy to grab when I want to wear them. And maybe actually remembering what I have, because you know that feeling when you just got something in a little box, because that's how I kind of keep most of them, and you got stuff on top of each other, stacked on top of each other. I kind of forget what's actually there, whereas this would help me remember, so, oh yeah, I have that one too, I want to wear that one instead. Anywho, I'm just talking here. Let's get them put away. But I really like them. I'm glad I tried them out. So I can definitely recommend those. Right, next up, let's do some blanks. So this is meant for lasering, because if you've seen previous videos I've done, I do lasering, trying out different lasers, but on blanks like this mainly, where you can then obviously personalize, put anything on there, whether it's words, whether it's numbers, dates, get off, or images, pictures, whatever you can think of. I kind of want to get them all out and see if they fit together, which I have a funny feeling they will. But these look really nice. So I've had some kind of puzzle pieces before, but I think that was like a set of 2 and they were on a keychain, which obviously you don't have to keep them on. So I saw this kind of bundle or pack, or what you want to call it, where you got, what is it, 6 pieces, and they look a little bit different in design, and I quite like the way they look, so the design of them, and they obviously have holes there already, but as you can see in different spots. So this one is kind of in a corner, and this one has it on one of the ends. Maybe I should have just tried 2 of them before I got them all out, but anyway, we're doing it now. If I can get in. Right, let's see if I can put the puzzle together. Because I saw this, yeah, thought so. And And my thought also was, because there's multiple here, do a bigger image, put it together as a puzzle. Obviously have the holes not facing inwards. Let me have a little redo of that. So put, if I can get them up, put them together, whatever. And then after you put them together, then you can engrave a larger image or something, or even text going across all of them. Text, numbers, a large image, whatever you can think of. Is this gonna, yep, that's gonna work out perfectly. And then as that whole large image or text gets engraved onto all of them, and then obviously you afterwards take it apart again, but then each piece has an engraving on it that maybe doesn't really make sense on its own, but put together they create a full image or whatever it is. And you can obviously then say, if you have 6 family members, 6 friends, or whatever you want to hand them out to or something, or give them to, it could be something really sentimental. And then every time you come together, you can basically do the puzzle and create the image out of all of them. I'm just putting them together again, I just took them apart. Anywho, that was my thought with this. It just popped in my head to try and do that. So basically you create an actual puzzle, but it's also something very personal. Obviously, if you want to make it that, you could obviously even get more than just these 6, so this pack here. So get 2 packs and then you have 12, and then you can do an even bigger piece. And then obviously separate them out and then put chains on each one, or whatever you want to use them as, keychains or whatever. And then if it's 6 different people, in this case here, or 12 if you get 2 packs, will have their own piece of the same puzzle. And like I said, when you come together, it's kind of like all the pieces of the puzzle come together and you can create the full puzzle. I just really liked the thought of that. I know it maybe sounds a little crazy, I don't know, but I just also thought it sounded quite nice. And these are difficult to get off the table. Anywho, that was my thought with this. And seeing them in real life, they are really nice quality as well. Nice and shiny. I really like when blanks are like that. It just gives them different kind of quality to them, I think. They look very high quality, and they are as well. It's a nice thickness. They're not too thick or too thin, so they're definitely gonna last. They ain't gonna get bent or anything. But also sometimes they can feel a bit too thick, for instance. But these ones I think is a perfect thickness. And they do fit together. So I really like them, and I'm glad I tried that out, because I think I'm gonna have to try and do something with that idea with these, kind of a bigger puzzle, and then separate them all out, and then you get the gist. I've already explained it. Anywho, that's the puzzle pieces meant for laser engraving. So you might see that in a future video if I can ever get them off this table. There we go. Moving on, let's do some more beads. And surprise, surprise, they're purple. Now these are a little bit different, and they kind of caught my eye just because they're purple, but also because they just look a little different and interesting. So these are 10 mil, so they're on the larger side, and of course a nice delicate lavenderish purple, but they have a coating on them that is a bit different and just really captured my interest. And it's almost like an AB coating, but not your typical one. It's kind of like a bit pearlescent and a bit more a delicate AB coating. That's the key word today apparently. And I really was curious how they looked in real life, and regardless I just thought I liked the look of them. So got these, and I definitely think they are what I expected. They're very nice. So again, we'll make for very elegant pieces. And honestly, the previous ones we had, you could easily combine them if you want to. They would easily go well together and still be very elegant and delicate. Like we find out everything apparently is delicate. Anyway, very lovely. And they kind of remind me a little bit of, because of that coating, I'm just thinking they've come from the ocean for some reason, like kind of they're a pearl, like they've got kind of that pearl finish feeling to them, I feel. So that's quite interesting and different, so I like them. Now let's do some findings. So these actually related a bit to a previous Temu haul I've done. So I got some chain that is rainbow colored, And I kind of thought at the time I didn't really think of getting findings to match, so that's what I did this time. I will leave a link to that video if you haven't seen already. But we have rainbow findings. So I did speak about the fact you could get them. I just hadn't considered getting them to match the chain at the time for some reason. But it's stainless steel findings. So we have Lobster claw clasps. There's 10mm. And then we have 12mm. So 10mm and 12mm. I kind of like to have a bit varying sizes just because sometimes the 10mm can be a little small because it can be a bit fiddly to kind of grab them with your fingers and then push that little lever thing. But sometimes you want the smaller ones because of the design, for instance. You don't want the clasp to kind of take over too much of the design. So a bigger clasp would kind of look a little less nice. So there's the lobster claw clasps and then some jump rings, because obviously you have to use jump rings to really put things together. So I got 5mm. That is my most used size jump ring for definite. I've used that for almost everything, except for say when I need to attach a pendant of some sort to a chain. I use bigger jump rings, if I'm using a jump ring that is, to do that, because sometimes the 5mm, well, really pretty much every time they would be too small. But these ones, they are 8mm, and that's a pretty good size. So for instance, if say this was a rainbow blank or something and I wanted to use this, but use matching findings and the chain obviously, then this will be perfect because it fits the actual blank nicely, but also the chain will go through there while having a little bit of space to give it some movement. Whereas I'm not even sure, or you could fit the blank in the 5mm by itself, but not with the chain as well, and especially there wouldn't be any movement in it. Oop, I put the wrong one away. Anywho, so that's why I kind of use the 5mm by far the most, but to connect pendants and things like that to chain, I tend to use 7 or 8mm. So I should be covered now. So any rainbow pendants or blanks that I do have, I now have the chain from last time, and I now have findings to match the chain in all the sizes that I should need. So super excited about that. I can actually finish some pieces, to be honest, now that I kind of felt, like, don't get me wrong, you can easily use just the regular stainless steel or silver looking findings for the rainbow chain, or even the silver chain for rainbow findings. There's nothing wrong with that. I just like to sometimes have the option to match the whole thing. Since these things are available, I might as well take advantage and use them. So that is lovely. I can now get some pieces finished off, like I said. So in case you're wondering, I love this kind of stuff, the rainbow coated stuff. I have lots of it. I like it for jewelry, but I have lots of it in my home, like cutlery, scissors, a bunch of stuff. I can never have too much of this. Next, let's do something different, because we also have a mold. So this is meant for resin, because I have started doing a bit of resin a little while ago, and I kind of sometimes, let's just get this out, it's a bit noisy, get a little bit caught up, or basically go down a rabbit hole looking at molds and think, oh, I like that one, oh, that's cute, oh, that's nice, I can do this with that and I can do that with this. So sometimes I can get a little bit trapped in a rabbit hole of molds, but this one I thought was really cute. I like the heart shape. Actually, the two different heart shapes, I didn't even realize. This one has got like a smooth roundness to it, where this one is more, yeah, I didn't even realize that. So the hearts aren't the same. I thought maybe those and those were the same as each other, but they're not. These are more rounded, like a regular cabochon would be, and this one is kind of angular, so it's got a flat side, and then the other side here is fully flat as well. And the same goes for the equivalent small ones. I did not realize that. As a benefit, we've seen something in real life, I guess. But actually I like that, because you have the two different versions of a hat almost, and they would also then be good for their own different things. So these ones here will be good for where you have that specific defined edge, whereas this, or these down here, are more curved on the one side, like I said, a regular normal cabochon would be. So they are quite nice in the different sizes. I really like the big ones there. That's a really nice size for, say, anything really, a pendant, even if you like big rings maybe, but obviously the others are a little bit more obvious for rings. But then you do have the different sizes that match each other nicely if you do want to make sets of things. They are really nice. Looking forward to trying those out with actual resin. Now let's try some mystery beads, because I know there's beads in this. I can feel it, but I'm not sure which ones they are. So I guess let's crack them open. As you can see, rainbow scissors. So let's see if I can recognize them. Oh, what do you know? Purple. Oops. Not. The other one, I'm guessing that's the same bead, but in a different size. Yes. Oh, they are really lovely. That is lovely purple. And these are then very different in the style of like gemstone bead. For instance, and say you got these ones here where even though they are like pretty solid colored, there's still something else to them. Not really clarity per se, but there's just some other kind of life to them, whereas these are far more solid, the color in them, but you do still get the different tones and nuances of purple there that all go well together, of course. So this seems like a 10mm and this seems like a 6mm, but they are really nice. That's a beautiful purple, as you can see. Don't like purple at all. So I'm excited to use them, and of course add to my purple stash. Right, so let's do some more storage / display, because before we were looking at the ring display little things, and basically these are almost the same but for bracelets. So of course they're not working in exactly the same way, but very similar. Let's get all this plastic out. So as you can see, again, it stands on the table, and basically the principle is, let's see if I can find a bracelet. Have one here. Oh, and it happens to fit, and it displays the bracelet beautifully. So again, it also lifts it off the table, so a flat surface there, and kind of displays it for the sake of seeing the design nicely, but also makes it kind of more accessible. And even maybe without having to pick it up or anything. Of course, that's kind of related to markets. But if you even want to use them for yourself at home, it just displays your pieces so much nicer and more conveniently than if you just keep them in a box or something, however you store your pieces. But I like that a lot. Let's just do another one. So obviously also depending on the piece, you could kind of have them facing this way out towards you, or like for these, that would maybe be better if they were facing the other way so you could see the actual design more. So like that, perfect angle and height and position to really be able to see them, and just take it off, grab it if you need it, or grab it if you want to look at it if it's a market, put it back on when you're done. That is really quite lovely. I really like them. And the rings as well, where did they go? They apparently grew legs and walked away. Grab one, because why not? Put the ring in and have them standing on some shelf somewhere or on the table at market. I think that would make really nice looking displays, whether at home or at a market. I really like them, and I really like the fact that it's all clear, so that doesn't take anything away from the pieces themselves, whether it's the ring or the bracelet ones. It still keeps the actual pieces and design in focus. That's what you notice. It's not the actual stand that you notice, which is obviously not what you're supposed to. So I like them a lot. And again, same as the rings, I highly recommend that if you're looking for something along those lines. Right, so what we have left are some beads, one set, and then one more thing that I'm going to do at the end. Let's do the beads first, so we can look at that last thing after. Again, yes, purple. I know. Oh, purple and blue, so it's not just purple. Again, same principle. 10mm, 8mm, and 6mm. Yes, that is a thing of mine. I like to get the same beads in different sizes. I think I've explained plenty of times why. It just makes sense, I think. So they are very interesting, very different than what I've really seen before. So the purple, blue, there's some brown, a little bit of pink, quite the nuances I would say. Very different looking. But you also have a little bit of like clarity to them. Some of them here you got some where there's really patterning on them. Almost a bit dragon vein agate like. really see all the patternings in there and the different shades. But then you also have a lot where they're kind of a bit more neutral. They're just different ranges of the colours. They're kind of nicely mixed together. So they are very different, I would say. I like them a lot, and they would work, especially with silver, they would be nice. But they're also leaning more towards the darker end of the spectrum, like them previous purple ones that we looked at, and they even go well together. They're kind of now reminding me a bit of like a, I was going to say a starry night sky. I don't think that's what I meant. We don't have really stars on there. More like looking out into the universe is how you kind of imagine that, because of all the different colours and how they're mixed together and that. It reminds me of looking into the universe, if you know what I mean. So they are very different and quite nice, I would say. Right, so the last thing we're looking at in this video, I've just had to zoom you out to be able to fit it, is some storage, and it is this. Now, I do have a very specific idea for this. I won't quite reveal that in this video. I'm going to save that for the next one. But this is a little box thing with 3 drawers in it, and it's already got dividers in the drawers, and it's little like fluffy soft drawer divider thingy materials. And obviously you can literally use this for whatever you want to. Now, like I said, I have a specific purpose for this, and I will reveal that in the next video. But honestly, when this arrived and I'm just looking at it and kind of feeling it, this is far nicer quality than I, no offense, but expected it to be. Because you can tell that it's kind of just acrylic and plastic and things like that. And this stuff can often not be that nice quality, I think, and quite easily break or something like that. But first of all, it survived the transportation and it's fully intact. And it's just the way it feels. This actually feels a lot nicer quality than I was expecting it to be. The acrylic is a lot thicker than I thought it would be, so it would take a lot more to break than obviously if it was thinner. It actually looks quite nice in real life as well. The drawers, so the handles on the drawers, they're not just kind of just plain and boring. There's a little bit of design to them, which is quite nice as well. Easy to open and close. They do come all the way out. So that is nice if you say use them for things you collect, or you could store rings in them or whatever you want to do, and then just pull the whole drawer if you want to look at that. And obviously just put it back in and it's back to being all nice and organized. So this is actually nicer than I expected it to be. Anywho, I'm not going to talk too much more about it because, like I said, the purpose for it I'm going to reveal in the next Temu haul. So keep an eye out for that. Once it's live, I'll link it down below. But it is something to do with collecting, really. You can probably guess it, but specific will be revealed then. Anywho, otherwise, that's everything I got for this Temu haul here. Now, don't forget, like I said, that discount code in the description box down below, and all the links to all these pieces here if you found anything that you're interested in having a closer look at yourself. And thank you very much to Temu for sending this to me to try out. I can't wait to use a bunch of it and use some of it for display, use the beads, play around with things. So yeah, thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.